The morning sunlight poured through the giant glass windows of one of the city's most luxurious hotels, painting the marble floors with warm golden light. The elegant restaurant buzzed with wealthy guests enjoying breakfast, business meetings, and quiet conversations. Everything looked perfect until one loud slap shattered the peaceful atmosphere. Every fork stopped moving. Every head turned. A young waitress stumbled backward, her tray crashing onto the polished floor as hot coffee splashed across the marble. The mark on her cheek burned bright red, but the pain in her eyes hurt even more. Standing before her was the billionaire's glamorous fiancée, whose furious expression made everyone too afraid to speak. No one imagined that this single moment would expose a truth powerful enough to change several lives forever. Before we continue, if you believe kindness and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the Kindness Project. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories that remind the world compassion still exists. The waitress's name was Marin. She was only 24 years old and had worked every morning shift for nearly 3 years without receiving a single complaint. Most guests remembered her gentle smile more than the expensive meals they ordered. Few people knew she spent her afternoons caring for her elderly grandmother, who suffered from memory loss, before attending evening classes to finish the nursing degree she had abandoned after her parents passed away in a tragic highway accident. Every dollar she earned disappeared into hospital bills, rent, and textbooks, yet she never complained. She believed that even when life seemed unfair, kindness always returned in unexpected ways. Across the restaurant sat billionaire technology entrepreneur Alastair Rowan, quietly reviewing documents before an important charity board meeting. His engagement to social media celebrity Vivienne Cross had become the favorite topic of every magazine in the country. To the public they looked like the perfect couple, but behind the polished photographs, Alastair had begun noticing something unsettling. Vivienne valued appearances more than people. Small acts of cruelty often hid beneath expensive smiles, but he kept convincing himself that wedding stress explained everything. That morning, Marin accidentally brushed a few drops of orange juice onto Vivienne's designer handbag while avoiding a child who suddenly ran across the aisle. The spill was tiny, and Marin immediately apologized, reaching for a clean towel with trembling hands. Instead of accepting the apology, Vivienne exploded with anger. She accused the waitress of ruining a handbag worth more than the young woman's yearly salary. Then, without hesitation, she slapped Marin across the face in front of dozens of horrified guests. Silence swallowed the room. Cameras from nearby diners quietly recorded everything, but no one dared step forward. Marin slowly bent down to collect the shattered pieces of glass scattered across the floor. Tears gathered in her eyes, yet she refused to let them fall. Her grandmother had always taught her that dignity could survive even the deepest humiliation. She continued cleaning because losing her job would mean losing everything she had struggled to protect. Every movement reflected quiet strength instead of anger. As Alastair watched the heartbreaking scene unfold, memories rushed back to his childhood. Long before becoming one of the richest men in the country, he had grown up in poverty with a single mother who worked double shifts as a hotel waitress. He remembered seeing exhausted bruises on her hands after customers treated her like she was invisible. She always came home saying that respect cost nothing, yet many people refused to give it. Looking at Marin, he suddenly saw his own mother standing there decades earlier. Without saying a word, Alastair walked across the restaurant. Every guest watched as he knelt beside the waitress instead of comforting his fiancée. He helped gather the broken dishes with his own hands before offering Marin his clean handkerchief. Shock spread across every table. For the first time, Vivienne looked uncertain instead of confident. She expected her fiancé to defend her, yet he couldn't ignore what he had witnessed. The restaurant manager hurried over, terrified that the wealthy couple would damage the hotel's reputation. Instead of firing Marin as everyone feared, Alastair calmly asked to review the security footage before anyone made a decision. Minutes later, the large monitor behind the reception desk displayed everything exactly as it had happened. The child running across the aisle, Marin protecting him from being hit by another server, the accidental spill, the immediate apology, and the unprovoked slap were all captured clearly. There was no misunderstanding. Only one person had behaved shamefully. Guests who had remained silent finally began speaking. Some applauded Marin's composure. Others criticized themselves for doing nothing while an innocent woman was humiliated. Several parents hugged their own children tighter after realizing how easily fear can stop good people from acting. Alistair realized something far more valuable than business success had been standing before him all along. Wealth could purchase luxury, influence, and headlines, but it could never buy character. The woman he planned to marry had revealed hers in a single careless moment. With quiet certainty, he ended the engagement before leaving the restaurant. It wasn't revenge. It was the painful acceptance that love without compassion could never build a meaningful future. The story spread across television, newspapers, and social media within hours. Yet what touched millions wasn't the scandal. It was what happened afterward. Alistair quietly created a scholarship foundation for hospitality workers pursuing higher education, naming the program after his late mother. Marin became its very first recipient, allowing her to complete nursing school without sacrificing her grandmother's care. She graduated 2 years later with honors and devoted her career to caring for elderly patients who often had no family beside them. The remarkable part was that Marin never celebrated Vivian's downfall. She never insulted her online or sought attention from the media. She simply continued choosing kindness over bitterness. Her quiet forgiveness inspired far more people than anger ever could. Those who met her often said her greatest strength wasn't surviving humiliation, it was refusing to let humiliation change the goodness inside her heart. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who still believes kindness matters, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the Kindness Project for more emotional stories that remind us humanity is still alive. Special request, comment below with the words, "Kindness always wins," if you believe respect is worth more than wealth. Some people spend their entire lives chasing status, while others quietly change the world through compassion. The slap that morning lasted only a second, but the choice to answer cruelty with dignity created a legacy that inspired countless strangers. In the end, everyone remembered the billionaire, not because of his fortune, and not because of the broken engagement, but because he recognized the value of a humble waitress when the rest of the room remained silent. Sometimes the richest heart belongs to the person carrying the serving tray, and the greatest victory is proving that kindness can never be humiliated.